Good anime fights. It doesn't usually come up very often because most anime fights are like this. But when a good anime fight comes up, you know you will enjoy it. I will enjoy it. Your grandpa will enjoy it. Your pet will enjoy it. Pretty much everyone you know will most likely enjoy it. So here's some of my favorite anime fights of all time. Listen, I know a lot of people like to criticize Dragon Ball Super for its flaws and inconsistency, me included. But whether you're a Dragon Ball Super fan or not, you can't tell me this wasn't one of the greatest fights in 2017. This fight was so hyped and entertaining from the start to finish. This fight was so hyped when episode 109 and 110 dropped, the Crunchyroll website crashed because there were so many people trying to watch this episode. This fight represented Dragon Ball at its best, and it's two muscle guys beating the shit out of each other. Leading up to the fight, the writers did a great job hyping Jiren up. Before they came into the arena, they had Whis and Angel saying that there was a mortal that a god of destruction can't defeat. Then we get to see a glimpse of his power. Just from one punch, he knocks someone off of the stage effortlessly. And next thing you know, they had Hit, the guy that basically beat Goku, fighting Jiren. And Hit is probably like the top 5 strongest fighter there. They make Hit use his strongest technique, but the writers show how powerful Jiren was by just having him break through the spell from just strength alone and knock Hit out. Then finally the showdown happened. This fight was the best animated Dragon Ball fight of all time. It wasn't even a contest. This fight had everything. The wind, the stare down, the Kamehameha, the Genki Dama, and finally the cool ass transformation. And this transformation isn't like the other transformation. This transformation was about a technique, not just, hey, he has a stronger power level than me, let me just get a higher power level than him. The animation for this fight was so crispy and nice, and the music, god damn, the music made it so much more hype. All in all, this was my favorite fight of all time Dragon Ball. I mean, who wouldn't like seeing two muscle guys beating the shit out of each other over a hype ass music in the background? This fight was so intense and serious, but exciting to watch at the same time. I'm pretty sure this fight shot Demon Slayer up to a whole new level of popularity. This fight got the show trending on Twitter and pretty much the whole internet, and rightfully so. Pretty much everything about this fight was beautifully done. The color of each frame was just so dense and crispy. And the music, dude, when the music played and Tanjiro started running, it makes you feel so emotional and intense. When Tanjiro started running towards Rui, I think the writer did a great job setting it up by making Rui put up a bunch of webs for Tanjiro to get through. And the way that Tanjiro cut off the webs, it felt so good. There's something about him holding a fire sword and cutting up those webs that made me feel some type of way. And the way that Tanjiro cut up Rui's head was just so satisfying to watch. You know something is good in anime when it shows the same thing again and each time they change the camera angle. I know a lot of people would say that the Rengoku or Tengen fight is better than this fight, but I honestly think this fight is better. Plus the music for this fight was just so much better than both of these fights. And this fight paved the way for Demon Slayer to get to where it is today. God damn, the way that he's cutting up those webs, it be making me just... I think most people can agree with me when I say this. Boruto is trash, but Sausage and Naruto on the other hand is great. This fight was the fight that showed Naruto and Sasuke at their full potential, and as a person who's tired of Sasuke saying that he's out of chakra constantly, this was a breath of fresh air. This was the fight that Naruto fans really hyped up. There was some rumors going around that episode 65 was gonna have a different animation because the episode got delayed, but I don't think anyone expected how good this fight was gonna be. This fight was just so hyped. They had the spin and burst OST playing in the background, and Naruto and Sasuke teamwork was on point. They barely even talked during the fight. They were in sync with each other. The teamwork was something Naruto fans was waiting for a long time, me included. This was years upon years of build up for these two to get to this point. This Naruto fight surpassed all of the other Naruto fights in terms of animation. This fight was also very fast paced as well. The characters barely had any time to talk, which I really liked. I don't hate it, but when there's a fight happening in an anime and all of a sudden there's like a 3-minute dialogue in the character's head, it's just annoying. Like, bruh, just fight already. I don't want to listen to your thoughts, just fight. The fight was so great and it had everything a Naruto fan could want. It had Naruto and Sasuke teaming up, it had the taijutsu, it had the shuriken, the Rasengan, the full body armor cloak Nine-Tail, and most important of all, the kiss. But for real though, seeing how Naruto and Sasuke went from fighting as kids to fighting as teenagers to this was something I can't describe. Like, I'm so happy that it got to this point. There's just something about two best friends teaming up to jump an alien that I can't explain. And speaking of jumping, watching these two guys, I mean men of culture, discussing which type of women they like, to training and then to jumping this flower monster thing was something spectacular. There isn't really any long build up with these two. It was literally two guys just meeting each other who had the same interests, then becoming friends and jumping this curse. And the jumping was on point, dude. I honestly think it was better than the Nanami one. Just from the camera angle of these two guys dodging the wood was just perfect. Then after that, we got to see two best friends using one technique to switch places and punching the curse. And every time they would switch and punch was just so satisfying. I mean, just listen to this. I don't think I've ever seen a cooler way to switch places with each other than how Jujutsu Kaisen did it. The clapping hands switching places is so simple, but so nice at the same time. The fight itself was very simple. We didn't see any complicated techniques being used. All these guys did was switch places and use a punching technique, but that's what makes the fight so great. There wasn't anything special. It was just two best friends having a good time jumping this monster. And I love the way that they did the camera angle as well. Each time they switch and punch, the camera angle is just right there. It's at the right place. I mean, who doesn't like to see two men of culture? Who likes girls like Jennifer Lawrence punching a flower non-stop? It's just great. When it comes to a good anime fight, One Punch Man delivers in pretty much every single fight, even in season 2 when everyone was complaining about how bad it was compared to season 1. But I think Saitama vs. Boros is the best fight out of all of them. This was the fight that forced Saitama to actually kind of try for once, I think. Look, I know pretty much any fight that Saitama gets into, he will win. We all know he will never take any serious damage or just damage at all. But seeing him having to punch Moro multiple times to defeat him is kind of cool in a way, because pretty much all the fight that he has been in at this point are just one punch. This fight is literally just exciting and enjoyable to watch. Just the description says it all. Bro, the strongest man in the universe versus a regular bald-headed guy who buys groceries from a local convenience store. The combination of the hype opening song in the background, the coloring, the face, the power-up, and the screaming is just so fun to watch. You can't tell me watching Boros screaming while powering up and punching Saitama through multiple walls doesn't put a smile on your face. This fight literally exaggerates how powerful these characters are. By having Saitama punching the air so hard, Boros died. They had Boros kicking Saitama so hard, he landed on the moon in just 3 seconds. And Saitama jumping from the moon to the earth in 3 seconds. And I know some of you guys are gonna be like, well, it's actually not 3 seconds. I did the math. Like, shut the fuck up, okay? I know it's not 3 seconds. I know, relax. We all know Saitama isn't gonna lose. It doesn't even seem like he's impressed at all. But that's what makes this fight so exciting to watch. Saitama is never in danger. There's no intenseness. Nothing of that sort. It was just fun and hype. And the animations, oh my god, the animation was great. I don't know how they managed to add in 1,000 colors into the screen and still made it easy for the audience eyes to keep up with. All in all, this fight was just super exciting to watch. It doesn't tell any good story or anything deep. The fight was just meant to put a massive smile on your face. And like I said again, who doesn't love seeing two muscle guys beating the shit out of each other? Watching this 5'3" guy destroying this 55-foot beast in 3 minutes was marvelous. This fight was probably the best animated fights of all of Attack on Titan. This fight really showed how strong and fast Levi really is. Levi was just like Sonic, he was zooming through the air. Levi just went through the smoke, cut out the Beast Titan fingers and arm, then cutting off the vision in like 3 seconds, then cuts off his ability to stand, and then he just goes ham on the neck. And the way that he just goes ham on the neck was nuts. And I love this camera angle, by the way. It's literally showing Levi's perspective as he's moving through the air. The Beast Titan is like one of the strongest Titan ever. He basically destroyed a whole entire army by himself, and Levi just made quick work of him. The Beast Titan is like leagues above most people, and Levi is leagues above the Titan. Levi really wanted some Titan meat that night. Pause. It's almost like he has done it before. But dude, imagine you're someone who holds one of the strongest Titan power of all time, and a dude just pulls up on you and tells you that you should be worried about a guy that is 5'3". I still stand by this statement until this day. Hunter x Hunter is the greatest shonen anime of all time. They somehow made a fight seem so balanced even though the power level difference was off the roof chart. If this was Dragon Ball, I promise you Netero would need at least 5 more power-ups to have a chance to beat Meruem. For me, how I see this fight is honestly, it's just about respect. Meruem talked to Netero for like 10 seconds and he already respects Netero. And he knows that Netero is great. He doesn't even try throughout the fight. Meruem doesn't even seem to want to kill Netero until Netero decides to slap his ass. And the way that the writer made this fight so balanced was they had Netero being able to throw hands faster than Meruem's speed. So throughout the fight, we don't know who's gonna win. We know that Netero is capable of doing damage, even if it's just a scratch. And we know that Meruem is just so much stronger than Netero, but he doesn't have the speed. So all Netero has to do is just keep him away and just weigh him down like that. This keeps us on edge and we don't know who's actually gonna win the fight. At first, it seems like Netero can't do anything to Meruem, but after a while, you get to see that Netero might be able to actually beat the Ant, because he's just so much faster. But the problem arises when Netero messes up sometimes, and each time he messes up, it would cost him a limb. And before you think Netero lost, he straight up pull a Cyberman and ends up killing him, which makes it a complete tie. That is the first time I have ever seen something that was made by a side character killing a villain. I know some of you guys are gonna say this right now. What, 2 Naruto fights in 1 video? Yes, and deal with it. The way that they combined the past and the present for this fight was brilliant. This was just like watching Naruto and Sasuke but in an older generation. And dude, the taijutsu, the way that they were fighting was just so smooth and quick. They still used the same technique as in the past. They fought the same way when they were kids. And just listen to the sound effect when they were fighting. Watching this fight made me feel super intense because you don't know who's actually gonna win, because this time around the stakes are even higher for Kakashi, because Obito has gone so much stronger than Kakashi. Even if Obito loses, he can still escape, Kakashi can't. Plus Obito can regenerate as well, and they're fighting for real. They're fighting to kill each other, and the animation was just so nice. I like this kind of fighting more, when you can actually see the action that is happening rather than two guys flying up in the sky and punching at a ridiculous speed. And what makes this fight stand out of all the other Naruto fight was, it doesn't cut off to the character remembering their past. Their past is actually happening at the present time, and the show even shows that it was happening visibly. I don't think any other anime fight has done this before. There wasn't any Renegon abilities, there was no 10,000 foot tall Susanoo giant, there was no Senju DNA. It was just two guys in a dark room throwing hands and using basic ninja tools and techniques to beat the living shit out of each other. Anyways, if you enjoyed this video, like and sub. Also, thank you so much for the support recently. I know my numbers are not anything special compared to the other channels, but to me it means a lot. But yeah, that's it. It's been your boy Nitro. Later.